I was thrilled when I saw the trailer for A24's Undertone, a horror movie about a podcast host. In it, Yugoslavia-born actress Nina Kiri plays Evie, one of the hosts of the Undertone podcast. Kiri's prior claim to fame is 29 episodes of The Handmaid's Tale. Evie's podcast co-host Justin receives an email with 10 audio recordings. As the hosts listen through the tapes, Evie questions their authenticity. Whether or not the recordings were a hoax, their effects on her life are very real. Undertone was written and directed by Ian Tuason, whose only prior work on IMDb is short films. Tuason either did a lot of research or personally knew a true crime podcast host. I used to work with a true crime podcaster. My coworker acted nearly identically to Evie. The crux of the movie revolves on the perversion of children's poems, songs, and prayers, like Baba Black Sheep. Evie denies the horrifying origins of these children's stories, while her co-host Justin maintains they have evil undertones. Although the true horror of the movie comes from Evie's lack of situational awareness, due to her headphones. She can't sense anything is off because she's in a different auditory world. If there's a moral of the story, it's that we need to unplug more often, stay alert, and listen to our surroundings. There's grave danger in turning off one of our 5 senses constantly with our AirPods. On that note, Nina Kiri gives a moving performance in Undertone. Her emotions bleed through the screen. Without her skillful acting, both with her facial expressions and her vocal inflections, the movie wouldn't have worked. It all hung on her, and she more than delivered. Because of her acting, critics and audiences seem pleased with Undertone. IMDb rates it 6.5 out of 10, and Rotten Tomatoes sits at a respectable 76%. Anecdotally, I attended a matinee showing on a Friday. More than a dozen people were in the theater with me. Much more than would typically be there at that hour. Now, let's get to my opinions. I'd say horror is one of the genres that's most susceptible to overusing tropes. Undertone falls prey to a few of them, like its heavy inclusion of Roman Catholic imagery and its use of the 3 a.m. witching hour. However, I think it'd be unfair to call Undertone a trope fest. In fact, it adds a new trope to the horror genre, audio horror. It flips film on its head by caring less about the visuals and more about the sounds. In fact, the ending of the movie plays on a completely black screen as audio plays. In the era of audio being so bad that you need subtitles to watch every single movie, Undertone is fresh and crisp with clean audio that you can clearly understand the dialogue and the sound effects. Truly a breath of fresh air. If you're wondering how on earth Ian Tuason scraped by on a budget of only $500,000, I've got a few guesses. First, the entire movie takes place in Evie's house. That saves a lot on renting locations, transportation, permitting, etc. Also, there's only a couple of actors. You've got the 2 podcasters, Evie's mom, and that's about it. Less actors, less paychecks. Third, Undertone was shot last February and completed in time for the Summer Film Festival circuit. That rapid turnaround time kept post-production costs low. Finally, and probably the biggest reason for the conservative spending, Ian Tuason filmed in Canada. As patriotic as I am for the grand old US of A, making movies in the US costs a lot of money because of Hollywood's unions. Foreign films are just generally cheaper to make for that reason. And one more thing before I sign off, there is a major plot hole in Undertone, one which I'll title The Baby Problem. Evie is revealed to be pregnant early on in the story. Her doctor asks if she would like to be referred to a gynecologist. She declines, saying, quote, "I want to think about my options," implying she's considering abortion. In the very next scene, she's opening the liquor cabinet. Later on, it seems Evie might actually end up keeping the child, naming her Mary. Then we hear in the 10 audio recordings a demon murdering babies. Of course, that demon doesn't stay confined to the tapes for long. The baby problem, as I am positing it, is thus. If Evie was going to get an abortion anyway, and was drinking alcohol while pregnant, recklessly endangering her child's life, why is it a problem that the demon murders her baby? She was going to kill Mary anyway. Are abortions only evil when enacted by demonic forces? Or was it good that the demon murdered her baby? Undertone doesn't even attempt to offer a satisfying exit to this ethical dilemma. But hey, that's just my opinion. As always, go support your local movie theater, watch Undertone, form your own conclusions, and report back in the comments section with what you thought. I'd love to hear what you have to say. For now, I'm done explaining. I'll see you again soon.